Okay, so now that I have this camera turned around, I'm going to kind of get into the marshmallow a little bit. So the marshmallow, the reason why I did decide to do the marshmallow is last year I saw a creeping marshmallow bellflower in my front garden. Excuse me, and I was really drawn to it. And my friend and someone I follow on Facebook, and she's an author here in Nova Scotia. Her name is Cindy Brannon. She had put on her Facebook page, and I think it's Keeping Her Keys, a little blurb on the marshmallow root. On the blue wild, on the marshmallow, creeping bellflower. Okay, sorry. So I'm going to show you a little picture because some of you may have seen it in your garden before. So this is it there. Oh my God, there's a blue jay right beside me. Anyway, so this is it there. So, and this is another form of the marshmallow, but this is what I saw in my front garden. I identified with it. I started to kind of look into it a little bit. I noticed in one of the baths that I use on a regular basis, Nawalti tradition, I think it's called. I'll have to post that later. There's a bath that I use. It's called Wash My Pain Away. I love it. But I was looking at the ingredients, and one of the ingredients was marshmallow root. And I thought, geez, the ingredients in this, I think I can try to do this on my own. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to try to make my own bath for pain. I think one of the reasons why the marshmallow root was in there was probably because it's a smoothing. It's good for skin. So you'll notice if you put some marshmallow root in water, it feels a little silky. That's just, it's emollient, and that's kind of just one of the things that it does. So some people actually use it on their face, and we'll get into that a little bit later here. But so when I saw that was in the wash, I decided I'm going to try to make that myself. So I got a couple of books here that I'm going to refer to. And I kind of tell you which ones they are. As I've said before, I'm a practicing witch, so I have books everywhere that I refer to on not just a holistic aspect, but a magical aspect. One of the books I refer to is The Master Book of Herbalism. It's by Paul Bayrill. Anyhow, this is that book. I love it. Lots of information here. One of my Bibles is the Llewellyn Complete Book of Correspondences. Look at this. This is like I look at this thing every day. Love this book. And this book here is a great reference too. I have a number of books up in the deck behind me. But this one here is the Field Guide for Wildflowers of Nova Scotia by Todd Boland. There are lots of wildflower trees, shrubs, books for your local area. All you have to do is go into your local bookstores and go into the local interests section, and you should see them wherever you are. I recommend picking one up, especially for wildflowers, and even trees and shrubs. It's good to know what's around you before you start using anything or, letting things grow. It's good to know what they are so that you'll know if they're invasive or if they're potentially poisonous or if they're going to irritate your skin, or, if you're keeping a log of what you've seen, it's good to be able to identify them. Okay, so the marshmallow, the planetary correspondent for the marshmallow is Venus. Before I get into this, actually, let's just do a little disclaimer. If you decide that you're going to work with an herb on the regular and you're taking pharmaceuticals, please make sure that you check with your pharmacist before you start any sort of relationship, either topically or ingesting an herb, because you don't want to get sick from trying to make yourself better. So please make sure that you check with your pharmacist before you start, using an herb on a regular basis. Okay, so the marshmallow, the planetary ruler for the marshmallow is Venus. Some of the correspondence for Venus, I'll just read you a couple here. Affection, attraction, beauty, beginnings, compassion, creativity, desire, emotions, receptive and sexual energy, fertility, friendship, gentleness, relationships, reversal, harmony, kindness, love, anyway, stress, the list goes on. For the marshmallow, I'm using this for self-love because it's so healing for the skin and for other things that I'll get into here in a few minutes. Those are the correspondence that I'm using, associating the marshmallow with. So the Latin, I'm going to butcher this, I'll try not to. The Latin word for marshmallow is Alfina officinalis. Anyway, so that's the Latin word for the marshmallow. A couple things to note about marshmallow is it is an demollient, it is an emollient, it's good for pulmonary issues, it's an expectorant and an alterative. Some of the things that you can use marshmallow for is going to be if you use it in a tea. Some of the research that I've done has shown that marshmallow is good as an expectorant. If anyone has a cough, like a dry cough where nothing is coming out, if you take marshmallow, it will help pull that out of your lungs. Ginger is also good for that. You could make a tea. You could add this to your ginger lemon tea. You know, there's nothing like ginger lemon tea when you're sick. So this would also be another thing to add to that. It's good for bruises. You could make a poultice out of it and put it on a bruise. It's good if you're going to use a poultice for anything topically, it's good to help with infection. If you wanted to make a wash out of it, you could use it on your scalp. It's good for dandruff. It's good for your skin. It's very soothing. If you put it in water, I don't know if I've said this already, but it feels very silky and it's natural, right? So it's just, you don't have to be looking for an additive or anything that's not natural to put into your bath to make your skin soft. All you have to do is, this is something natural that you can use to do that. Some people use it for eczema because it's an expectorant and because it's a demulcent. Oh my goodness. Some people, if you take it as a tea or if you sit and inhale, it can help with headaches or with sinus infections. Whooping coughs. The list goes on. It's crazy. This is your all-round Joe of an herb. So this is a great herb to experiment with. So the lore for the marshmallow, in ancient days, marshmallow was a funereal herb. I don't know why it says funereal. It was a funeral herb, and also taken daily as a tonic to avoid all sorts of illnesses and disease. Now this book, it says it is of little magic today. I plan on using it for magical purposes, especially for self-love, for baths. So I will be making a bath out of my marshmallow root, as well as teas. But the bath that I make, because it's got a Venus, the planetary ruler is Venus, I'll be making a special bath for myself, and I'm going to call it my Friday night treat. So it will have a magical purpose. Anyhow, I just dropped my notes, but we'll continue here. So flowers may be found that are not as effective. So that's something to keep in mind whenever you're working with an herb. The root is always going to be where all of the power is. A lot of the power is. I don't want to seem like I'm being favoritist, but anyway, a lot of the energy is going to be in the root because it's dense. And that's, think of it. The root is what's giving everything else life. So the root is where a lot of that energy is going to be packed into. So that will be like with your marshmallow. That'll be with your horseradish, which I have growing over there at the side of my house. That'll be with turnip. Really think about your root vegetables. That is where you see what's on top, and it's beautiful. It's a wonderful, airy plant. But the root is where all of the energy comes from. So, and if you have a root ball, ginger root, like horseradish, like the marshmallow root, you're going to use that root, you're going to chop it up in little pieces, you're going to dry it, and you're going to use a tiny little bit of that because it's going to be so concentrated. It should last you a long time. So that's my plan with the marshmallow root. So I'll be giving it lots of love. I'll be feeding it lots of seaweed compost and some little crab shells. And we'll see where we get to with the marshmallow root. If it gets too big for this bucket, I might have to move it into a bigger bucket. That's exciting. Anyway, I hope that you found this video interesting, educational, and I hope that my Ancestor Garden has kind of sparked your interest to start your own Ancestor Garden, or at least start to research some of the herbs that you currently have and think about what you can use them for besides just culinary purposes, or maybe if you wanted to try a little bit of marshmallow root, your local herb store could have some in a dried form, or you could order some online and kind of start to play around with that a little bit. It's really exciting. Anyway, I hope you have fun with it if you do start it, and I'll be doing some more videos on some of the other herbs that I have, and as I start working with these herbs, it's getting busy here in my neighborhood. Anyway, as I start working with these herbs, I'll start sharing recipes, and we'll see where we get to. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. I hope everybody has a wonderful summer solstice and a wonderful weekend. Stay hydrated. Here in Nova Scotia, it's going to be another hot day. Anyway, many blessings to everyone. Love you. Bye.